Get home. I think the trip was less than a week later. It was very soon, whatever. And he sent me a text that just said, I'm not comfortable with you going out of the country with guys. And I was like, that just kind of fell off. And then I ran into him about a year later, and he had a girlfriend, and they are like married with kids now, but he had a girlfriend, and he came up to me at the bar and he goes, hey, how was your trip? And my trip was like a year prior. I was like, oh, it was fun.
He told her about his boundaries, but she chose to ignore them. Instead of trying to discuss or negotiate, he walked away and found someone else.
Oh, yeah. He just wants to see his dad. Hey, let him see his dad. This shit broke my heart. Oh, this shit's about to make me cry.
This happens more often than we think. In many cases, children are kept from seeing the other parent, not because it's in their best interest, but because the custodial parent wants to make a point. That's the truly heartbreaking part of most of these situations. Rather than prioritizing the well-being of their children, some parents act out of personal motives, leaving those kids in deep sadness, just like the young boy in this clip. It's clear he would do anything to spend time with his father, but his mother refuses to listen. She made it clear that it's not about what her son needs or wants, but about her own feelings. And at this particular moment, she simply doesn't want him to see his dad. And that's devastating. You can hear the pain in his voice. He misses his father deeply, but she is not concerned about it.
A man is taking me out, he's paying for everything. Like, you asked me out, you wanted to see this. You gotta pay for it. That's it. Women don't pay for dates. That's just it on period. We should never pay for a date. That's how I was raised. I don't pay for dates.
That's fine, as long as she keeps finding simps willing to entertain that level of entitlement. But the moment a confident man crosses her path, she will see the other side of things. Most of us don't mind covering the bill on a date, but only for those who don't act as if they're entitled to a stranger's money. Ironically, she comes across as the type who would expect the man to pay, even if she was the one who invited him. The good thing is that this kind of mindset doesn't work on mature, self-assured men. We don't entertain those who carry that sense of entitlement. If she doesn't have money, she should simply stay at home because feeling entitled to a stranger's money is wild. Honestly, it gives off unemployed energy. Maybe what she really needs is a job.
Hey man, we might be the last ones getting married for real. So I went back home the other day and I was talking to one of my young boys, and keep in mind, he like 16. He like, yeah, bruh, I done gave up on that shit a long time ago. I'm like, gave up on what? He talking about relationships, trying to get married, all of that. He told me his plan was to get a really, really fine baby mama so he could just hit her forever. He said, cause you know, you can always hit your baby mama. And I said, yeah. And I was like, he young, he gonna grow out of that. But I was like, let me hear him out. Basically what he said, and he had a very good point. He was like, he feel like he ain't turned right now. So he was like, if he get a girl and he locked in, she just gonna cheat on him with the right dude, which is turned. He was like, when he gets there, when he finally gets his money and figures himself out and all that, she's only gonna be around for that. That if he didn't even have all that shit, she wouldn't even look his way. I was like, damn, he ahead of the curve. But I tried to talk him out of it. I tried to persuade him. I was like, hey, look at me and my girl. I met her in college. I was in a dorm, eating at the Calf, no car, walking to work. And she held it down. She was still fucking with me, and we came up together. And he was like, yeah, bro, you might have found a unicorn, but I don't want to take them chances. He said, if I want to play with those type of odds, I could just put in a 30-leg parlay. Damn.
The sad part about this clip is that it reflects the direction we're heading in. This is truly where things are going. Some might argue that he's just one in a million, but that's not accurate, especially in the age of social media, where information spreads quickly and widely. The young man being discussed has likely been influenced by the content he consumes online, or by the people around him. Over time, those influences have shaped his perspective on relationship to the point where he now views it differently. This is why we need to be careful who we listen to.
He was like, when he gets there, when he finally gets his money and figures himself out and all that, she's only going to be around for that. That if he didn't even have all that shit, she wouldn't even look his way.
Where does this belief come from? Things have become so materialistic that many men are now hesitant to enter relationships, fearing that their partner's interest is driven solely by financial gain, and that won't help at all, especially for those who want to build something substantial. Nowadays, it's all about securing the bag, and that mindset is not helping when it comes to relationships.
I love when people think that I'm stupid, because tell me why I'm at the mechanic shop and he talking about I need a Cadillac converter, but I drive a Jeep. Make it make sense. Think I'm stupid. Ladies, when y'all going down to the mechanic shop, take somebody with y'all. Your brother, your uncle, your daddy, your boyfriend, somebody. Stop going to these mechanic shops by yourselves, because they know we don't know anything about cars. So they trying to give us any type of services we don't even need. Outrageous prices. Because I don't understand. Make it make sense. A Cadillac converter. I don't even have a Cadillac.
I completely agree with what she said. Given the way things are going, she definitely could have used an extra hand. It would have made more sense to bring someone along when going to the mechanic, because in this situation, it seems like that support was necessary. She thought she had outsmarted them, not realizing that wasn't the case at all.
Do you ever not want to cuddle because you know that's what's going to happen?
All the time. I'll play dead. He's like cuddling, and I just lay there, and he's like, geez. And I'm like, well, no, because then you're going to take it as a green light.
Wait, so y'all not fucking and y'all not cuddling? Yeah, y'all better go ahead and break up. That's a no for me, fam. Because then what are we doing now? Sitting in silence? 6 feet apart? So you telling me you not cuddling just to avoid fucking? So now we're not fucking and we not cuddling? That's a double whammy, fam. Because if we not fucking, I sure as hell expect some cuddles. Cause what the, are you out of your mind, bitch? You think I don't need love? I don't need compassion, touch? Yo, normalize men cuddling. Actually, it's already normal. You just sound bitter. Well, what? Men like to cuddle too. Sounds like you hate your man. That's what I'm hearing.
Cuddling, and I just lay there, and he's like, geez. And I'm like, well, no, because then you're going to take it as a green light.
Based on those statements, it's already clear what's happening in their relationship. The ironic part is that later, they're often the first to complain that he's acting differently. Suddenly, they don't understand why he's become distant or why he no longer values those alone times. Now they're upset that he's coming home late or texting someone else. This is the moment everyone suddenly seems to have amnesia, pretending they don't know why things have changed. They tend to show signs of not fully grasping what it takes to keep a husband emotionally and physically engaged in the relationship, which inevitably leads to deeper issues. As he mentioned, they're not interested in being affectionate or even cuddling, and for some reason, it doesn't register that this sends a signal to their husband, one that says something's wrong or that they're no longer interested. That's something most men would be deeply affected by. It's hard to understand why they don't recognize that these are the key moments to connect with their husbands. Those little things are what he looks forward to after a long, stressful day. But if he comes home and feels unwanted or rejected, it's going to impact not just his mood, but also how he views the relationship as a whole.
I really liked him, very attractive. And halfway through the date, he's like, what do you have going on the rest of your summer? And I said, oh, my best friend and I are going to Europe for a month and a half. We're going to Italy, and then we're going to Spain. I'm so excited. And his whole vibe switched. He goes, you're going with your best friend. It's a girl, right? And I was like, she's a girl. And he was like, just like you two. And I said, well, it's just the two of us in Italy. But then when we go to Spain, hopefully we're going to meet up with a group of our friends. And he was like, are there any guys in the group? And I was like, I know we're going to try and meet up with my friend Ben and like his group of friends. And the guy goes, who the fuck is Ben? I was like, we went to high school together and he's just like a good friend of mine. And he was like, well, are you going to Spain to see Ben? And I was like, no, I'm not going there to see him, and neither is my friend. We are going on a vacation. They're going to be there at the same time. We all just might meet up. We also might not. I think he's doing a camping thing. What? And he was like, well, I don't really know if I feel comfortable with that if we're going to keep seeing each other. Get home. I think the trip was less than a week later. It was very soon, whatever. And he sent me a text that just said, I'm not comfortable with you going out of the country with guys. And I was like, that just kind of fell off. And then I ran into him about a year later, and he had a girlfriend, and they are like married with kids now, but he had a girlfriend, and he came up to me at the bar and he goes, hey, how was your trip? And my trip was like a year prior. I was like, oh, it was fun, whatever. And he goes, you see that girl over there? He's like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, cool. I was like, nice. She's very pretty. And he was like, I know. I was like, okay. And all my friends were like, who was that? I was like, I don't even know who that was, honestly. That one's not that bad, but it's still...
The thing is that she didn't understand where he was coming from. I know they were no committed, but it was clear he was aware of the reputation associated with those trips, and he wasn't willing to pursue someone who chose to take part in them. We're all different, and each of us decides who we want to share our energy with, and based on his reaction, it's clear that he has made his choice. He was dating with intentions, and she was someone he had been considering, but due to that trip, he completely lost interest. This is what she failed to grasp. He had genuinely been open to the idea of something meaningful, but that trip couldn't be ignored. If he had only been interested in something casual, like a Netflix and chill, his approach would have been entirely different. He wouldn't care. But unfortunately, she didn't see it that way, and consequently missed her chance to build something more substantial. At the end of the day, I'm glad he eventually found someone who better aligns with what he's looking for. I can only imagine how she must have felt seeing him with his new girlfriend while still single. I guess she would turn back time if she had the chance to do so.